Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Emilio. And this is DL Gaming. Welcome.
All right. I mean, we already told them it was DL Gaming, but it's nice of you to reiterate that.
Yeah, it's I got to do that sometimes.
Yep. Got to push the brand.
If I forgot, maybe some of them forgot within a few seconds.
All right. Well, before we get started here, we want to do a quick shout out to two new patrons this week coming through. We got Michael Rotella. Thank you very much.
Rotella.
And BMN.
Thank you, BMN. It must be Batman's main nemesis, right? Yeah?
BMN.
No? All right.
No,
well,
I'm
thank
not
you
sure
anyway.
Let
us know what it is. And if I was right, you are Batman's main nemesis, Bobby's got to pay me some money or something.
Good luck getting that money from Bobby.
When's the last time you had cash in your pocket, Bobby?
Oh my God, it's been forever. I mean, I don't have a wallet.
You're right.
I have that little compartment on the back of my phone that holds my credit cards. Yeah, that's the way to go.
I used to be a serial wallet loser. I lose everything. It's just not. But your phone is so fucking important. You don't lose your phone. So yeah, you combine the two, and I have yet to lose my phone or wallet since then.
Yeah. God, I was watching a movie recently and a character, it was like a teenage character was like, oh my God, I lost my phone. I'm like, bullshit. There's no way that happens. Yeah. Nobody ever, at least not a teenager, loses their phone. I mean, it's going to be dead. It's going to have a cracked screen, but it's not, they aren't going to lose it.
But I have this whole theory about how cell phones the existence of cell phones ruins a lot of storytelling. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, but there's things you can do with it too.
Sure.
You have to address it in movies, like especially scary movies.
Yeah. It just sucks that like sitcoms, everybody just comes over to talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying now. I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Just like
and yeah, scary movies. Like, why don't they just call for help? What's going on here? But no.
It's a good plot device now that's like, oh, we're out of cell range. Like that always immediately
you just have
happens.
to address it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some games that don't have cell phones, I bet.
Yep. Let's talk about some video games. All right. Time for our On the Radar section where we talk about games that have recently come to our attention, but we have not played. The first one I want to start off with is Garden of the Sea. This is actually a VR game. Stumbled across it on Steam, and it looks like Stardew Valley, but strictly VR. I don't think you can play this game without VR. So it's a gardening simulator, but it's meant to be really peaceful and relaxing. You wander around an island, you meet the animals, you do some fishing, and you grow your garden. Based on the reviews, it's good, but it's not really fully fleshed out. I don't think it's in early access or a beta or anything like that. It might be, but it sounds like it's there's not as much to do in it as, say, Stardew Valley or My Time at Portia. But still, I like the idea of doing this in VR. It kind of surprises me that we haven't had one of those busy work games, one of those like gardening or crop or farming simulator games in VR yet.
I feel like you maybe don't need as much because it's so much more time consuming when you do it like this. You have to walk over to the thing. You got to actually like.
In VR, you usually don't have to walk, but yeah, you do have to perform the physical actions of doing all the things like digging up stuff. I don't know. Have you guys ever thought about having a garden?
Yeah, I have a garden. I mean, everything's like in dormant right now or dead because of winter.
What are you growing?
But peppers.
Peppers. Okay.
Yeah, I grow I grow ghost peppers, and then I grow like what are they called? Like hatch green chilies.
Oh,
and then I'm growing shishitos, and then I grew some onions too.
Nick, the hatch and the green peppers, like you can use that in recipes pretty easily. But like a ghost pepper, that's a lot, right? You just use one for an entire pot of something, right?
Yeah, and then another thing is that the fucking plant grows like 80,000 of them.
So what do you do with all those?
I mean, I tried pickling them, and then my dumbass forgot to like boil the jar.
Oh,
and so that both jars developed mold. And I was gonna send one jar to you guys, and then I was gonna send one jar to Diddy, and then I didn't get enough of a harvest to make to re-jar them. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well,
You can dry them
they
out too, right?
like, huh?
You can dry them out too. I thought.
Yeah, you can dry them out, but like you're looking to kill somebody if you make like salsa with that. Like you know
Yeah.
how like you're supposed to toast the dry like whatever. You're gonna mace your whole family.
That's what
Like
I'm saying, dude. You're playing with fire there.
Do you
yeah,
ever
like
do you ever live
you're
on the wild side?
legitimately gonna like chemically burn your family's eyes and throats if you if you like you know how you're supposed to burn or like sear the skin of jalapenos when you make salsa.
Sure.
Yeah, every Mexican person that whose mom does that, you like your throat itches a little bit, and you're just like, with a fucking ghost pepper, you're gonna be on the floor like choking to death.
Yeah, you're weaponizing the air.
Do you ever want to live on the wild side after you pick them? Just stick your finger up your butt, see what happens.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I really want to die.
Yeah,
I would probably just have a seizure and die. I already have enough like digestive problems because of all the medications I take and stuff. Fuck that. I'm good.
all right. Well, if you don't want to garden in real life, you can do it in VR. And for only, what's the price tag on this game? I think it was $25. Yeah, $24.99, which for VR games seems about right. And yeah, this is not an early access. It's a full release, came out January 13th.
The way you reeled that in was incredible, Bobby.
It looks cute.
Another game that I'm not sure. Is it clear on the Steam page if it's VR only anywhere? I couldn't find it.
Yeah, like if you look at Garden at the Sea, right below,
Right.
yeah, you have to scroll up a little bit, Christian, but right below it'll say requires one of the following virtual reality headsets. It's a big notice, like they put it in bright orange right there.
Okay.
Yeah, right
So-
there below the picture.
So, Christian, can you click on Demeo on my list? I wasn't sure. See if that has it. Yeah, it does, right? Okay, this is a VR only game as well. I wasn't sure, but what a great little idea this is. So, it's a tabletop RPG game where you play in VR and you hover above it as if it was like a game board. It's basically like playing D&D if you had all the little characters and models and you could make any kind of little dungeon you wanted. But it's its own game. It's a standalone game. I think you could also play it just as the pieces if you want to play D&D with it as well. Just a great idea. It looks fucking fantastic. It looks like you're playing with the actual pieces, and especially now with COVID and not being able to get together in person as much as you want it. This is like I almost feel like this would make you feel like you're in the room more than any other VR game, playing this kind of like board game, really.
Do they have anything on Tabletop Simulator, like any visual aids for D&D?
For D&D, I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody has made one. There's another game that I covered that's almost exactly like this, but it's not VR. But yeah, it just has all the things for playing.
Yeah, I remember
D&D.
that one.
Yeah, but
I thought VR simulator. I thought tabletop simulator supports VR.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah, but the problem with that is you're on a board. So this looks like it's actually building an environment. Like there's little caverns and caves.
yeah, I think it's great.
That seems like it'd be difficult to do in Tabletop Simulator.
Last thing. So, last week, 2 weeks ago, we did this Game of the Year episode, and so we just kind of pushed everything to later. So I was like, I don't want to lose these games. Let me follow them, and then I'll find them later. And then I was like, oh, how do you find your followed games? Because I don't think I've ever looked at a list.
It's a good question.
Yeah, and so I asked Google. Somebody had a link. It's like my followed games or something like that. Anyway, you click it, you get this super long list because I've never unfollowed a game. And so there's games that tons of games that I own on there. There's games from way back. And I was like, oh, shit. So I deleted a bunch of them. Following basically just means the news about that game comes up on your feed. But, there's a lot of them that, like, came out and were shitty. So it was just good to, like, clean that up and then look at stuff that I had followed and then totally forgot about, Demeo being one of them. There's a couple more on there, but I didn't want to load up the radar. But anyway, yeah, you can look at your followed list and curate it once you're there. So I recommend you do that so that you could just clear out the
So that
cobwebs.
controls what comes up on the Steam main page, like what's advertised to you, or
No, that's like there's a you get updates for news, right? Somewhere, I forget.
I think
where
it's
it
in the
is.
library.
Yeah, somewhere like you get news on. It's called like things that are going on or something. I don't know what it is, and I always see it. It's just like like Risk of Rain 2 has updated this and this, and also you should continue following games that you're actively playing, like DRG, Bobby. That would be an obvious follow for you. You probably already do. And so anytime something like that happens, it pops up. So it's good to follow some of the games that you already have. Like TF2 was on there, I left it on there, just because.
Why not? They get an update every now and then.
Yep. What do you got, Nick?
So I have Dying Light 2. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the gameplay trailer came out for it, and man, does this game look great. There's a couple things that I want to nitpick, but like I nitpick it, but I also give it props for the same thing. Some of the facial animations in this game look amazing, and then some of them look like absolute shit. And I don't know if it's because some of them are official cutscenes and then some of them are just in-game interactions. Because some of the in-game interactions look amazing, and then some of the official cutscenes you're just like, what? But the game looks beautiful. They do that cool Dying Light stuff where they highlight everything with bright colors, even though it's a zombie game. Not everything is gray and like disgusting. The story seems like it's great. They don't tell you that much, but they just kind of give you a tease. It's coming out soon. Was it February 4th? I think.
Nice.
It is the first gameplay trailer, so I'm pretty excited about it. A lot of people love Dying Light, so why not enjoy Dying Light 2? They showed a bunch of zombies and different zombie types, and so let's have some fun.
Yeah, this is probably a day one purchase for me, and barring like catastrophic launch, yeah, probably day one. I bought it for Diddy.
Did you ever play the multiplayer for Dying Light 1?
Yeah, and let's see, I played it a little bit. I played the versus a good amount, where some of the people were the special infected, and the other ones were like humans, and then
well, they had some sort of game plus mode in it where they put in the vehicles, and it was basically like continuing not the story but the character progression from your single player campaign. You could continue that in a multiplayer or a co-op setting, and I remember putting a lot of time into that.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I did versus, and then there was a standalone what do you call it, battle royale game, where it was only like 6 people per map, but it's melee combat. There's guns too, but generally it's melee combat, and you're just all jumping around this like whatever facility trying to kill each other. I liked it. It wasn't very well received, but it was free to play if I remember right. But yeah, I think they were just kind of testing out certain things with that.
Yeah, battle royales are really big at the time. I think they were just trying to
Make some money.
jump on that. Yeah. All right, another game I wanted to mention is Crystal Clash. Crystal Clash. This game, I looked at it and I thought, this looks interesting. It combines lane combat, so kind of like a MOBA. Think of like an ARAM, but with lots of NPCs or computer-controlled characters. But they also combine some sort of card element. It's like a card-based game as well. So I thought that was a really interesting combination of two genres. And, I like those lane-based combat games. I was so into MOBAs for a while, but something that was more like co-op or single player, like I talked about that Star Wars game. I can't remember the name of it. That Star Wars mobile game a couple weeks ago I played, and that was like my first experience with that kind of game. And I think I never played Minion Masters, but I think that was kind of like it as well. But this one, is kind of a reboot of another game that this company had made called Rise of Legion. So maybe if you played that one before, this is a lot like it.
Oh, it's free to play.
Yeah, it's free to play, which also scares me a little bit. Like, what's the catch
Yeah,
there?
for sure.
But I don't know. It looks pretty cool. It's
does
probably
look
something I'll check out. Is this game out? Yeah, it is out. Just came out on the 14th.
I saw one, dude, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this is something Bobby. This is what Bobby's looking for," and I fucking didn't save it or anything. I think it has Pip in the name. Christian, we might be going down a
Pip.
Yeah, Pip, like Pip soldiers or something. I might be way off. War Pips. Oh, is that the one that you had said?
Oh yeah, he brought this up.
Okay.
Full circle, buddy. Full
Yeah,
circle.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the problem with this game, War Pips, was that there wasn't enough people playing it when we looked at it last. And again, that's a huge problem for any type of game that tries to do this, is you have to have a player base.
Excuse
and
me, Bobby. That
yeah.
was pre-DL Gaming Bump. See? There's 900 now.
They're already up to 800. Well, no, we're looking at Crystal Clash right here. 840 people playing Crystal Clash right now.
Oh.
Yeah, War Pips 98.
Yeah.
That actually is more than
It
the
is
last time.
more
we
than last
looked
time.
at.
I'm telling you, DL Gaming Bump. Dude.
That is a huge
The
wow.
DL
We have
gaming
such an
bump.
impact. We have
Yeah.
such an impact on this industry. Sometimes it's amazing to think about.
I mean,
We
to
do,
go
yeah.
from 24 to 98 doesn't sound like much, but 4 times, if you put it that way, sounds great.
That's a 4 million% increase. Wow.
I want to check the math on that. War Pips is still in early access? Huh. Wow, okay.
Bobby, it's yes and, even though if they're completely wrong.
And it's $14.99. Yeah, so I don't know. Crystal Clash, I might check that one out.
Okay, so another one off of my list was Chicory. What do you guys think? Chicory?
Chicory?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Chicory, Colorful Tale. I thought it was a great little... No, that's the wrong one. Oh, did that come up? I think it linked in. Sometimes... There we go. So this is a coloring book game, but not like you're coloring a book or anything. It's like you're a character that lives in a comic book. I mean, a coloring book. And as you do quests and puzzles and everything, it's all about coloring the environment. I thought it was such a great novel idea. I haven't seen anything like this before. It's overwhelmingly positive with over 1,100 reviews. This looks like a fucking easy pickup right here. How much is this? So $20. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to buy it for Mila and watch her play. But yeah, as you're playing, the world's being colorized. It's fucking great.
So it's not tagged as a puzzle game. It's tagged as an adventure RPG.
Yeah, but in the description, explore, solve puzzles, make friends,
Yeah.
draw on.
That just leads me to believe that the puzzles are probably not very complicated. But it doesn't seem like there'd be combat in this game.
Doesn't seem like there is. I haven't seen anything to say that there is. But conceptually, I think it's great. Take a look at it.
It looks pretty cute. It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. Over 100 plus animal characters.
Wow.
10-hour
Hell yeah.
gameplay.
All right. Last game I want to bring up, there's another Serious Sam game coming out called Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem.
Fuck right off.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's
Why?
too excited about Serious Sam games anymore.
Why?
It's funny because these games, I remember really liking these back in the day because it was just an onslaught of enemies, and the enemies were creative too, and also the guns. But it was a very 90s style shooter, and I just don't think it's really made the leap into modern times, because I was really excited about Serious Sam 3 coming out. That's when they made a huge bump in graphics. I don't know if that was... I don't know how long Crow Team has been developing these games. But anyway, I remember playing it and getting, 5 hours into it and then just completely losing interest. And I don't think they've had a good Serious Sam game in a very long time. I can't imagine this being the one that changes that, because from the pictures and the videos, it looks exactly the same. It's called Siberian Mayhem because it takes place in Siberia, so different setting. But Serious
Thanks,
Sam
Bobby.
always had different settings anyway. You go to Egypt, and then you go to just the Middle East, or if I remember correctly. Like you were always jumping around to all these different areas. So I don't know why they would really try to like say, hey, this one's in Siberia, like that's a selling point.
Did any place
So
like
weird.
exclusively have snow? Like, is that something like that's why they're bringing it
Maybe.
up?
I don't think. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't really remember any snow levels off the top of my
I could
head.
just see crow teams in their fucking round table just being like, banging their head, and then somebody's like, snow. Yes!
That's how we'll sell Serious
Mirko,
Sam. Is
you
snow.
got it, Mirko. Thank you, Nikolai. And then they fucking just
What
got
was
to
the
work.
puzzle game they made?
I have no idea.
I can't remember the name of it. It was really popular. It was a lot of people played it. I didn't finish it. Had the little
Guys,
robot with the cat.
Has this always been published by Devolver?
That's why I always say I
know.
like 99% of what Devolver puts out.
This is the 10%. I mean, this is the 1%. Oh man.
Talos Principle. That's what it was. Why aren't they making a Talos Principle 2? That's what they should be spending their
They
time
did.
on.
I'm pretty sure they did. I might be off.
But they had they had DLC.
Mm,
I don't think they had a sequel.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, new Serious Sam game. Don't be too hopeful.
Arc Raiders, I clicked on it. I was really surprised by the graphics. This is a first-person shooter. Sorry, dude. I guess I had my links mixed up. As usual. As per Emilio. Anyway,
That is
so
Emilio special right there.
I don't know if this video is like highly curated, but the graphics look great. It's a co-op third-person shooter online, but it is free to play, which sucks. But the graphics make it look like maybe higher quality than a lot of that free to play stuff out there. So I'm feeling like it's kind of like a Destiny clone or something like that. Anyway, take a look at it. It looks pretty good. It's going to come out later this year. And yeah, it's fucking shooting at robots together with friends. And what bonds people more together than that? Yeah.
All right. Well, time to talk about some games that we have played here. I was surprised. I wanted to mention this last episode, but I could never work it in. They gave away for free Jedi Fallen Order.
I saw that.
Yeah. I posted it in the Discord, which is why you should be part of our Discord. We've got a channel called Game Gears or Game Deals and Gears.
Deal.
I don't know. I always look at it and I just see Game Gear, and it reminds me of the Game Gear that I once had. Anyway, it's where we post free games or heavily discounted games. And Twitch was, if you were an Amazon Prime subscriber, which most people are, they were giving away 3 free games. And they were pretty decent games, one of them being Jedi Fallen Order. And the other one, I think, was Total Warhammer, and I can't remember the third.
That was a full price game, 2 years ago?
Yeah. And I had talked about wanting to go back and play this. So I got it, installed it, and surprisingly, my save was still there because the first time I had played this, it was under your EA account, your Origin account. And it must have saved locally on my computer and then loaded the save from there, but I was able to pick up right where I left off. So I'm not as far as I thought I was. I think I maybe have a few more hours of gameplay to go, but I was surprised how easily I just got right back into it, which is probably good. I think I would have lost interest if I had to start over from the beginning. But it is returning to it. I am kind of liking it, maybe even more than I did the first time. Like I think the boss fights are good, and like the lightsaber controls. It's not an easy game. It's not like a hack and slash. Like you don't just run around and knock people down.
Yeah.
It's you really have to think about what you're doing and use your force powers and your blocks and time everything correctly. So I'm enjoying that. Might continue it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, apparently it's saved locally, so that's cool.
That's the upside of having a 5-year-old computer.
Yeah, well, but I haven't reinstalled Windows.
Yeah, a lot of people call this the Dark Souls of the Star Wars universe. So I always wanted to play this. I got it for free too, so I kind of want to fucking boot it up.
would
I've been
guess,
playing a lot of Bannerlord, and I can't put it down. And I have Total War coming out next month, but I don't know.
You know
I,
what's
I
interesting
think
about
Jedi Fallen Order is
Bannerlord?
going to always be there.
You
So
you talked about last week how you lost your save in Bannerlord. So I loaded it up and I tried to load my game and it said this is from a different module. And there was like a button that said load anyway. And I just clicked it and my game loaded up. And then I saved it in there and now it's saved under the 1.7 module. And then I immediately closed it because I didn't want to get stuck in that again.
okay.
So what happened with mine is that so when I loaded mine up, a bunch of the stuff wasn't loading. Like prices for items weren't loading, and I couldn't buy certain things. Like I couldn't buy like grain, and like also I couldn't hire, I couldn't hire certain units.
Okay.
And
So
so
maybe I'll
especially
run
like
into that problem too because I didn't do anything. I just loaded it up and thought, oh, hey, it works. Cool. And then clicked right out.
Nick's an idiot. Close. Quit.
But I imagine I'm
I
going to have
never
the
had
same
any
problem as you.
problems.
Dude, I love how we fucking treat Bannerlord like it's a nasty old box in the fucking basement. Like Bobby opens the door, looks at it, fucking shuts the door, walks away. Nick goes in there, fucking plays around with it. Fucking, he's like too dangerous, gotta go. Me, I buried that shit years ago. I think about it, but I don't want to play it. We just don't have the time. If you were in jail, it would be the perfect game.
If you're in jail, that's your new life, bro.
Yeah, I told.
You ain't never leaving your cell if you got Bannerlord.
I've got a buddy who did 23 years, and I was like, "Hey, are there people that play D&D and like Magic the Gathering?" He's like, "Oh yeah, the nerds have their own tables, and that's all they do all day." And I was like, maybe
Whoa, I
it's
could
not
survive
that
in
bad.
jail.
Yeah, maybe it's not that bad after all. Yeah,
I didn't know they had Magic the Gathering in jail. Then you realize that all the cards are made out of folded over toilet paper, and you're like, "Fuck!"
yeah.
No one's got sleeves.
So let's see, what do we got? I played Vampire Survivor. Sounds like a terrible game. Looks like
That sounds like a straight money grab game.
I know. Looks terrible.
Vampire fetish.
Look at the reviews though, dude. Like, we're talking about. So when you're looking at those numbers, I don't know. Do you add those numbers, Bobby? What would you think?
What do you mean?
Would you add those numbers? Are there 5,000 reviews, or are there only 2,000 reviews?
I think, yeah, you have to add them up.
Yeah. So 5,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive.
No.
So
You go to the
total-
bottom right here.
Okay. And it tells you the total reviews.
Which is
2,500 reviews.
Okay.
I know it's a small nitpick, but a lot of people don't know that you can filter all the types of reviews down here, which is kind of neat.
Oh, that's good. Okay. It's good to know. Well, either way, 2,500 reviews, really good. Overwhelmingly positive. Looks really bad. Looks like Castlevania graphics. Even the character, the first character, looks just like what is his name?
Dracula?
No, the guy. Who's the guy?
The main character from Castlevania? Oh, I don't know.
Fuck. He was in a
Alucard?
Alucard. Nope. Anyway, doesn't matter. He's like a vampire hunter. Anyway, it looks just like him, and so it looks like NES graphics. And it's just wave survival. It's not even in waves. It's just a continuous, never-ending horde of bad guys that come at you. Super simple controls. You just move your character. That's it. Up, down, left, right, diagonals. And you don't have to push an attack button. It's automatic. And it's actually really good. The way the abilities work, the unlocks, the earning of money to unlock more things, the roguelite in that way. And the game is trying to get what you're supposed to do, because it's eventually it's just walls of bad guys coming at you. But if you build your character correctly, you can break the game, kind of thing, and just do massive damage. But if you fall behind, a la Risk of Rain, if the hordes and their strength outspeeds how fast you're leveling, then you're just going to die. It's just a slow death. And if you get touched, it is pretty quick to die. You have a health bar, but if you get touched for like a 1 whole second, you're dead. But like you can get hit a little bit and then be okay. So the bad guys drop health crystals, which makes there's two things going on. One, you can only get health from like drops, but you have to go explore for those. But counteracting that is the XP crystals. You got to go back and get XP crystals because you can't walk through this wall of bad guys. So you have to continuously stay in the same area or try to explore to get health back. So it's either one or the other. You can't just kite. There's a method to all this madness that you see. And then you get treasure boxes, which is a huge boon. You can get crazy shit out of those things, and it's really exciting when you get that. It's just a really I was having a really good time. There's nothing bad I can say other than the graphics. Really, the simplicity of the controls actually lends to the mechanics, because them taking away the attack button means that you have to learn the timing of your attacks and use that to the best of your advantage. Like your whip goes off every 1 second, right? Or 1.2 seconds or whatever. And so you have to make sure that every 1.2 seconds you get in range to kill something. Otherwise, you miss that one. It's a waste because it's a resource that you're expending. I highly recommend it, and I picked it up for $3. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it's totally worth the $3.
How did you find this game?
Just came up on my feed because this is the kind of shit that I play. Yeah, highly recommend for $3.
Yeah, this looks pretty good.
Yeah,
very cool, and the price is right. All right, I got back into another game, For the King. I talked about this a couple months ago, maybe.
For the King. Yeah,
I really like this game. They give it away for free on the Epic Game Store. Hopefully you picked it up. It was a roguelike RPG, and you have 3 characters, and you can play this co-op, but if you play 2-player co-op, then one person controls 2 of the characters and one person controls 1 of the characters. So
yeah,
I played this with Christian.
you can play 3 people, by the way.
Yeah, you can play 3 people where one person controls each character.
Who has a copy of the game.
And that's really what I would recommend doing, honestly. I'd like to play this with each person playing one character. But I played the single player, and it was fun, but it was just a lot to manage all 3 of the characters because they can move individually and separately with each other. And it was kind of annoying because one character would have more move speed or whatever and could travel further during the move phase. So if I was trying to move everybody as a group, then it was kind of difficult to keep them together unless you put them all in a boat or something. But I don't know. I did 2 playthroughs on this, and it's a roguelike, so you're kind of meant to die at some point. And I was having a good time, but I felt like I kind of reached my limit of fun with it. But that being said, if 2 other people would play this with me, I'd still go back to it.
How much is this now?
I'll play with you whenever you want, dude.
All right, maybe we can get this going.
I love playing this game. I've gotten to the final boss for the first map multiple times. It's really fun game.
Really? Do you have any pointers? Because I feel like I'm still kind of new at this game as far as like characters and gear.
I guarantee, I promise you that it's going to take a long time to actually make progress until you start unlocking some of the more later effects. So you're going to need some of the shops that are open at night, because at night you don't really do anything, right? Besides, like, you can travel and stuff, but more of the chaos stuff spawns. Mm-hmm. So if you have like the night festival or like the night vendor and a bunch of other stuff, like a bunch of the night stuff, that's good. But just unlocking more of the classes and more of the events makes the game 1,000 times easier.
Okay, and I've done that.
It's exactly like Isaac, where when you the more you beat the game, the more items you get, and the more items you get.
Yeah, so you're meant to do a bunch of playthroughs. Yeah, I see. Yeah. So you're meant to go through a couple of playthroughs, unlock some stuff, become stronger. And I've unlocked some of the stuff, some of the characters and events, but not a whole lot.
Do you have this on Steam, Ryan?
I have it on Epic.
I have it on Game Pass. It's free on Game Pass.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what Christian and I were doing.
Okay. Yeah, it's all cross-compatible, and I'd love to go back to this, too. But if we're playing with Nick,
Leslie.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you. Whatever. It's
Well, I
fine.
mean, I'll play with anybody, but I'm just saying, like, the shitty thing is that when you do play, when me and Leslie play Isaac, that's our game ever since they made it so that both players are equal now. But like this game, you really do need 3 people because one person playing 2 people kind of sucks.
Mhm.
When you play with 3 people, it's a lot funner because you have to split loot, or a lot more fun because you have to split loot, and like you get to, no one really becomes super overpowered unless you want to play like that. That's always a really, really weird way to play the game where like you just have one super decked out character. And the only time that never really, I mean, the only time you have a problem with that is when you run into an enemy that counters that character's damage type. So, like for example, if you're like the woodcutter or the lumberjack, whatever the fuck it's called, you just normally just deal physical damage, and there are some enemies that are physical damage resistant with their armor, and if you're like the carry of the team, you're fucked.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's one of those games where you just gotta keep playing over and over again. It's your typical roguelike.
Remote
Okay.
play on phone. Huh.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a new one.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have tomorrow off. I think it's Martin Luther
I have
King
tomorrow off,
Day.
too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to like set anything in stone, but I'm gonna pretty much be hanging around all day. So if y'all want to play this, let's do it.
Sounds cool.
Are you asking me out on a date?
Trying to schedule something. Trying to
All
get
right,
something in the books
I mean,
here.
I can hop online.
Okay.
Yeah,
Christian,
I'll play some For the King with you
you guys don't celebrate Martin
tonight,
Luther
right?
King
That's what
Jr. up there, do you?
you're saying tonight. You want to play?
No, no, tonight. I don't know if I can do tonight. I'm saying tomorrow. But I'm guessing Christian has to work tomorrow.
Yeah, we didn't have Martin Luther King, so
I mean, he was
we work.
personable to all the whole entire world. How do you not have him? He's in everyone's hearts.
Wow.
True.
Wow.
There you go. Wow.
Nice. Good,
We
but save that for
and good
tomorrow, I
night.
think, probably.
We're not going to top that.
How dare
Just
you.
call it a podcast. So Steam concurrent players hit an all-time high. I think they just did it again 2 weeks ago, and then they did it again just now this week.
Yeah, they do it all the time, dude.
Yeah. Well,
It's not a big deal anymore.
Well, you know,
it's been a while, dude. It's been like over a year, probably, since
I
last
don't
time
know.
they hit it.
Ever since like COVID started, they've been breaking this record like every month, it seems.
Yeah. But I read about a little why they think it happened. PUBG going free to play like brought in tons of people, and then God of War brought in like 70,000 people playing God of War at one time. 70,000 people.
Is Steam the only place God of War is available?
Yep. And that's why people think it's, PlayStation's going to have their partnership with Steam.
Yeah. So that is crazy, dude. So that is really good news because that means, Last of Us, other shit like that, Spider-Man might be coming to Steam sooner rather than later. Especially since
I think the Spooderman is going to be on Steam within the next year. I think it's going to be a holiday item, and same with The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's all good news. So that's good. And then difficult settings in video games, Nick?
Yeah, so this is something I wanted to talk about. So because I had to restart my save, and then because I was noticing something different in through this playthrough, I was like, dude, I am like invincible. And like I am winning every arena fight. I'm like, dude, what is the difference in this like playthrough? And then I realized that a bunch of the difficulty settings were tweaked. And dude, Bannerlord has some of the coolest difficulty settings. So you can like set the difficulty not just like hard, easy, and all that stuff. You can also set the how much damage is dealt to you, how much damage is dealt to your opponents, how much damage is dealt to your troops, how much how fast you swing, and like how realistic damage is dealt concurrently, like how attacks are animated and perceived while troops are in battle. If it's done in waves, it's pretty cool. And so I wish a lot of different games had difficulty settings like this, because like if you play fighting games and you play on like the quote unquote hardest difficulty, all the difference is like you get dealt double damage and you deal half damage, right?
Yeah.
But like if it's like, oh, the opponent attacks faster, that would be cool, or other things like that. Like just making things more of a bullet sponge is not really a difficulty change, but like like the quote unquote hardest difficulty in this game is equality. That's what I want to call it, because at the end of the difficulty scale is just called realism. So like everybody just takes the same damage. You get bonked in the head without a helmet, you're just gonna die. And so I think it's one of the coolest things about this game. And it took me a second to realize that A, you can just change the difficulty settings in the middle of the game, and B, how deep the difficulty settings get.
I always thought that was weird in like Skyrim, where you could just actively change it. You know, there's a spot where you can't get through. You just put on easy, get through that spot, put it back on hard, or whatever it was. And it seems like cheating, but who are you cheating? You're cheating yourself, dude, because you're cheating out of like having a better time. You want that right. It's hard. It's super hard to fucking find that perfect niche of difficulty. But the more sliders you have, the more likely. What are the chances that these three random things that the developers throw you, easy, medium, and hard, fall right where, like Back 4 Blood, it wasn't right. Easy, medium, hard was not right. There needed to be a fourth, so they were wrong. But if the more options you have for your own difficulty, the more likely it is that you're going to have a good time with the final product.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that I want, like, I see as far as like difficulty goes, and like I'm seeing it in my own life, is D&D. Like every time we get into a fight now, especially when you're level like 8 and 9, and players are doing 70 damage, 60 damage on their turns against stuff. It's like, dude, I can only make them fight things with 400, 600, or like 300 health so many times before it's like, okay, this encounter took an hour to do the combat, and it's not fun doing that. And so like this past session, I introduced something really cool. It's called a jabber scythe, and it's a unit where it goes invisible and then jumps around the battlefield, and it can't be seen by like normal means and even some magical means. And the longer it stands still and it shoots, because it shoots like these like big like spines, the more shots it can do. And so it puts the pressure on the party to not stand still and try to figure out where it is standing still. And like all my players were like trying to figure out what the fuck to do, and it was really nice.
Yeah, you got to introduce new mechanics, like ropers. Ropers have interesting mechanics where they grab people and bring them in, and then what's the other one? Beholders. Beholders just shoot those rays and fucking do all kinds of crazy shit. So yeah, there's tons of stuff out there, mechanics wise, to mix things up.
One of the ones I like doing is like mind control, and like I have a player that's been playing for ages, and I'm like, all right, well, you failed like these 3 wisdom saving throws or whatever, and then he gets mind controlled, and then he starts actively attacking the party, and they're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets really crazy. It's really fun,
especially if a character min maxes and that person gets fucking mind controlled, because they're all strength and all the hard stats and have no soft stats to defense. Yeah, you have to attack them and get some mind control in there for sure.
Min-maxing in D&D pisses me off, dude.
Dude, so I actually have a player that kind of regrets min-maxing, and I feel bad because I've at this point in the game, I've told all of them, hey, please have backups, because literally yesterday, one of my players, if he didn't have an ability, he would have took 134 damage or 143 damage, and instantly died if he didn't have a certain a rune of magical protection. And I was like, you guys need to have backup characters, because you guys are messing with a lot of dangerous ass shit. And one of the min-maxer guys is like, I kind of want my character to die now because it's I don't like min-maxing in D&D. I don't like having the perfect character. I like having characters with flaws and stuff.
Flaws is what makes characters interesting, and people sometimes. Yeah.
Probably like Bobby.
He's all flaws.
Okay. I don't know why I'm the example for that.
Let me
He smells.
Oh, we're going to talk
He's got
about
no
Sandstorm.
personality. It's what we love.
Before we get into Sandstorm, let me do a recap of what we talked about.
Wait, you're not going to do the thing where you try to do it at the out?
Because I'm trying to go so fast nobody can even understand.
Oh, I love when you. Oh, okay.
So on the I'll do it again.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
On the radar was Garden of the Sea, Demeo, Dying Light 2. I'm going to do my radio voice. The Crystal Clash, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Serious Sam, Siberian Mayhem. Probably bullshit. Arc Raiders. And on the highlights, we have Destiny coming to the stage. No, because I somehow slipped into fucking strip club DJ. Jedi Fallen Order. Vampire Survivors for the King. Steam Concurrent Players is not a game. And Bannerlords 2, where difficult settings are uncontrollable. All right. Well, I had fun.
Let's welcome Cookie Dough to the stream.
I work with a bunch of jerks. All right, I'm going to go pee.
I think you did great. I think you did really great.
All right. So let's talk about Insurgency Sandstorm. This was my first time ever playing this game, although I did play the first Insurgency a little bit. And right away, I noticed that this game was a little more, I don't know, easier, accessible. It was a little... I remember the whole thing about the first Insurgency game was you couldn't see hit markers. You didn't know if you had killed the person. It was meant to be very difficult. You couldn't see your ammunition. It really leaned heavily on the side of realism. And Sandstorm does this as well, but maybe not as much. Nick, you have a lot more experience in this game. Can you comment on that?
Yes, so I played a lot more Insurgency 1 than I played this game, and I didn't know some of the changes that they made to this game until Sniper pointed them out, and then I kind of got upset. So this game, I think the perfect statement for it is that this is a better Call of Duty than Call of Duty. And I actually got to talk to some players and have some meaningful conversation when I played. And they were like, this game's great. I don't know why it doesn't have more players. And I'm like, well, it's actually, I'm coming back to the game and other people are coming back to the game. Like a couple of my friends were playing it because I was playing it. And I think this game does a lot of things well, like the balancing of the guns and things like that. But I really, really think that this game should have stuck with what it was before, which was a Counter-Strike mod. In the sense of go with the gameplay a little bit slower instead of speeding it up. I like the customization. I like how you can change what your character looks like. I like, all the loadouts. I like how you can change the grips and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, they're just doing all that stuff because of, like games like Tarkov and Modern Warfare and we're not Modern Warfare, but Call of Duty, because the only reason why Call of Duty has all that attachment shit where you can change barrels and bolts and all that stuff is because of Tarkov.
Sandstorm was out way before Tarkov, dude. I think.
No,
Sandstorm, it was. Yeah.
Not this game. 2018? Tarkov's been out since 2017.
All right.
But the attachment system has been in there since the original Insurgency. I think you might be a little off the mark with that specific thing is all. But
okay. Anyways, I still think that Insurgency Sandstorm is a great game. I think it's a great pickup, especially if you love Call of Duty. Once again, it's better than just Call of Duty itself.
Well, I was going into this expecting just like a Counter-Strike clone for the most part, and I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. Maybe I just didn't pick up on it. I played quite a few modes. I started out with the co-op. It seemed a little easy. Like the wave survival one was kind of fun, where you just try to survive 7 waves in one spot. That was actually pretty challenging. Then I tried the verses, and what's funny is I had kind of a similar experience to what Emilio was describing last week. The first game I got into was I think it was just a basic versus mode, but it was just voice chat was just filled with like homophobic, racist stuff, just constantly, a bunch of kids, and I was like, okay, great, toxic player base here, super. But the gameplay, like I didn't feel completely useless like I did in Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, I get kicked out of games. Like I get vote kicked like that because I don't know what I'm doing. But then I joined another game and it was a lot more organized. People were using voice comms in a more productive manner, and it was a pretty good time. And again, like I feel like in Insurgency, I'm not like a hindrance to my team. And maybe it's because Counter-Strike has been out so much longer, but like that game is really difficult to get into because right away people are just throwing around terms like CT operas, smoke mid, like banana peaking, like all this stuff, and it's like
He's
what
not
are you?
wrong. Like Counter Strike is arguably like as hard, if not harder, to get into it and then League
Yeah,
because of all the lingo.
and the only way to get into it is to like survive like the toxic player base. Like you just have to like mute it or just be okay with it and just be okay with being like a burden to your team for a long period of time till you kind of figure out what you're doing.
So, Bobby, did you actively go down the list of different game modes, or because I found that like if it goes by random, right? And then let's say you go into the deathmatch one, right, which is the most toxic one. You'll just stay in the
Yeah,
death.
no, that's the
Yeah,
game
yeah.
that all the toxic people
Yeah,
that are
you'll
like
just
saying
stay
homophobic
there.
and racist
Well, that
slurs are
explains
saying.
it. Yeah, I know. And you'll keep going through it over and over again.
Yeah, so you have
no,
to actively take it off of your
Yeah,
random
I would
list.
jump out and then I'd queue up again.
Okay, good.
And you check the boxes for the game modes you want to jump into. The one that I think, God, what was it? The one mode, it might have been Dominion. I think that I think I had the most fun with.
I played Domination. That's the one I had most fun with.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It was the one at the very
The one
bottom.
where there's 3 points and you have to stand on top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So my thoughts in general on this game. First of all, it's highly, highly polished. It feels like a game that's been out forever and has been worked on consistently, and that's exactly what it is.
Definitely.
Another thing is there are so many of these games because there are extremes on the arcadiness of your first-person shooter. There's extremes like Arma 3, and then on the other side you have something like I guess Call of Duty would be the most arcadey, and you got to find the right game for you in that. If this is going to be your kind of game, I feel like this is kind of like right where I want my shooter to be. I had a great time. I thought the shooting was spot on. I'm not one for attachments and all that. It was fun playing around with them, but the increments of what you're getting out of things like that is there's a certain limit that.
Well, you level up in this game, and as you level up, that gives you currency to buy things like cosmetic stuff. I don't know if you can buy actual attachments. There's like some weight mechanic to it where like you have 9 points of weight to work with and you attach like a bunch of stuff to a gun. But I think can you unlock guns with the currency?
No, everything's already pre-unlocked. As far as like how things work, I believe it's all done by like you said, a weight system and then also a point system, because I know there was moments where I wasn't at weight cap but I couldn't equip certain things.
Yeah.
So because I guess I was like already too valuable.
No, probably in slot. Like only so many things in a certain slot, like hard capped. Yeah.
Well, so I had to watch a video on this. So basics on inventory and management. So you have to wear the heavy armor in order to have more pockets to carry more shit. If you don't have the heavy armor, then you can't. And then there's some additional like saddlebag that is to carry more stuff. But what they don't tell you nowhere in the game is that like the lower your weight limit, the faster you move, the faster you switch your weapons, the faster
you raise your gun,
So you can basically
which is super important.
Yeah, you can be like just like a guy with a double barrel shotgun, nothing else, a t-shirt, and do pretty well because you're faster and quieter than other people. And then you could go the other extreme and just be totally decked out with a giant machine gun and just hose people down. It's crazy how different two different settings in one game can be. I play the deathmatch, toxic, whatever. Found a way to have fun with the MG, but it was okay. It was just okay. And then I played the whatever is the one with the VIP. That was the one that really people were being very tactical and moving the VIP guy whenever it was clear, and like clearing lanes for him. And I was like, "Fuck, this is intense." Yeah, man. This is one of my favorite shooters, I think. Yeah.
One thing that I will say again about this game, I already mentioned it, is that and you said, is that it's polished, but it is so balanced. I feel like not many guns in this game, besides like the well rod, for example, are ineffective or not really useless.
Yeah, guns kill. Almost every gun will kill you pretty quickly.
Well, the time to kill seems very low in this game. Like usually if you land a hit, the person's dead.
Yeah, it's on the lower side for sure.
One thing that I absolutely love is any game that kind of gets shotguns right, and this is one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tarkov is also one of those games where it's like, dude, a shotgun from like 20 feet away and you're using buckshot is gonna rip you to shreds.
Yeah, I was super happy with the shotguns in this game because I always tout myself as a shotgun guy, and yeah, I was like, oh, I can't believe he's dead. In almost every other game, it doesn't work.
And like in this game, you have a shotgun and you shoot somebody and you're like, I might not hit him, and then you shoot him and like you just see this big ass splash of red mist, and you're like, oh, that guy doesn't have a chest anymore.
He's a super
and
dead.
Then, yeah.
I went with the flechettes. Flechettes, I think I'm spelling that right.
Flechette rounds or flechette rounds?
Yeah. They're little darts or whatever.
Flechette.
And you get bigger spread, but you have to be more accurate with the buckshot. That's a huge difference. Obviously, a buckshot, you only have one. You have to be accurate. The other one, there's some wiggle room, a lot of wiggle room actually. The most wiggle room.
You have slugs, and then you have buckshot, and then you have flechette rounds. Yeah.
I could see myself playing this for tons. If Magic the Gathering wasn't in my life, I'd be playing this probably.
Am I mistaken in that the first Insurgency didn't have a marker for your teammates? Because I was surprised going into this game when I saw that my teammates were marked, but the enemies weren't.
Yeah,
I think the first Insurgency didn't have markers. Yeah, I think you're correct.
Oh, did you guys talk about barks yet of the characters?
No.
Super interesting, man. I really thought this was very clever. So there's barks.
Yes. I know what you're saying. I'm like, barks, what the fuck are you talking about?
Lines that the characters say involuntary.
You can turn those off, by the way.
But you don't want to because they're involuntary. You might turn them off so that you can't hear them, Nick. But like if you throw a grenade, their characters will yell, grenade. And then you can hear how many guys are over there running away from your grenade. You know what I mean? Like, because the players had nothing to do with it. The characters are scared. And so, or you can hear somebody whimpering when they got shot and got hurt. So you know that guy's still alive. Shit like that. What a great implementation of audio. The audio in this game was fantastic. There's a level that's an office building, 3 levels, maybe 4. There's the garage, whatever, lobby, upper suites, whatever. It was chaos. You hear people running all around you. You don't know if people are behind you. I thought it was great because sound is so important in this game, hearing the footsteps, that when those footsteps are on the level above you or below you, it's fucking you all up. I was disoriented the entire time. I llamaed in a corner with a shotgun and did pretty well. But you could not track anybody. So yeah, the audio design in this game is fantastic. People told me forever that this game was good. I never touched it, and I'm sorry to all of you guys. You guys were right.
I'm excited to play with you guys. I will download it again if this is something you guys are going to come back to. When I
makes you think we're going to play with you, man?
Oh, because I'm the best at this game. When I interviewed John Higgins from the Insurgency team, that sound design component is something they're really proud of, and they did that because in the old comp mode, you couldn't see when people died. Right? You either had to see their body, but if you shot them from across the screen, you might not know. But the last person alive on the 5v5 would make, oh, fuck, and he would be really loud, so you could kind of pinpoint him so the match ended earlier and he couldn't just sit in the corner and like mow you down. So it's a fun.
What was the other thing I was going to say? Shit. I guess we'll just leave it on that. So, recommendation from everybody?
Yeah. I'd say it's a good game.
Yeah, good. Pancakes. I think you're the real hero here, buying us a couple copies. I don't know how much it was on sale, but thank you.
Okay, real quick. When we used to play this game all the time, we found a bug that if you kept hopping on top of each other, you would just continually float in the sky like until you could see the whole level. And okay, one second.
Oh, jeez.
There it is.
Okay, so we're seeing a bunch of people grouped together on top of each other, slowly raising themselves. Oh, one guy fell.
Oh, Bobby, I remember what I wanted to say. It depends on the game mode as far as unlocks. Some, like Domination or Dominion, whatever it is, those ones, or I think it depends on the server. They might implement whether or not you've unlocked those guns or not. And then other servers, like when I played the deathmatch, all the guns were unlocked. But then when I played the more serious ones, I had a very limited amount. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Who's up for game of the week? Who's
I thought
picking?
it was you.
Is it me again?
I picked Sandstorm because it said pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's Nick.
It might be Nick.
No, because I chose the game before this, which was Bannerlord.
Was it?
Sounds about right.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
God, I guess we're back at me then. All right. Well, I'll think of something.
Bobby, just throwing it out there because I was going to pick it when it comes around to me, but maybe I think maybe it's time to go back to Rust. But
Rust?
yeah, give it
Never.
a shot.
Oh God, please!
Never.
What are you crazy?
Well, we're gonna have to when it gets to me. So we're either gonna save 2 weeks or not.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's get to listener questions. We've got a few of them here. First one coming from Death. Oh, yeah? What? Do I miss
I was
something?
about to say, you think you heard enough homophobic slurs and racist terms? Wait till you play Rust, man.
Great.
I remember Rust. First question comes from Death. What would be a good PC game to get my wife to play? She has no gaming experience other than mobile games.
I would do a very dated game, but you could probably get it for free.
Simple controls, simple shit.
I've never had a female not like Peggle, but it looks super old and janky. But you could probably get it for free. Peggle's fucking.
Yeah, but that's
fantastic.
not a co-op game.
Oh, co-op.
Well, he didn't say co-op game. That's just kind of what I assumed.
Yeah, it's a PC game.
Mhm.
They put it on. They put it on mobile. It's probably better on mobile now. But man, yeah,
imagine.
I love that game. I played it for hundreds of hours, and yeah, any girl I've ever put on there loved it as well. It's just dated now. Trying to think of what else.
Well, I will say this. The only game, my girlfriend never grew up around video games, never had a console growing up. So zero experience with video games, starting from ground zero. And we've tried to play games and it didn't go far. The only one, I'd say the one that we had the most success with was Stardew Valley, playing co-op with that. Because that's
Minecraft,
not...
man.
That's not really a control intense kind of game,
At
you
all,
know.
yeah.
You really go at your own pace. You can't really lose at that game, and it's fun, you know. It's a great game, but I want to say she even played with a controller when we did that, and even with the controller, she did all right. Um, but I think the game's even easier with a mouse and keyboard. But that would be my suggestion.
Maybe The Sims. That would be another suggestion.
Dude, the Sims, whew, man, you're gonna lose your wife.
I don't know, man. Is The Sims really that good though? Because I feel like I definitely got hooked on it like way back in the day with the first Sims game.
Yeah.
But I went back and tried to play one of the more recent ones, and the graphics were just really bad, and I found it not very intuitive. Like I couldn't get into it, and I'm not sure exactly. Maybe I just didn't give it enough of a shot. And I think it was Sims 4. Isn't that the most recent one?
Yeah, Chi
I
made
think
us play
so.
it for homework. Remember?
I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the last time that we played?
I I put myself in a neighborhood full of supermodels and had a pretty good time. Pretty good time. Well, my character had a pretty good time. I didn't like the game.
Yeah. I
Rihanna,
don't know.
Rihanna's like 78 babies into 100 baby challenge, where you try to get one character have 100 babies.
See what I mean?
And not die?
There's no death. You can have as many babies as you want in The Sims. It's a utopia for birthing.
She's right
yeah.
behind you.
Oh yeah, I feel like she's very proud of that. She used to post her series stuff and update all her friends on like where her babies were at and like what the number was and who was the father this time. You know, some guy walking into the apartment.
She made a super slut, basically.
I wouldn't call that a super slut. I would call it like a birthing queen. That's how I would like pitch that.
Like a queen bee, basically.
Yeah.
The queen bee.
Queen of the Hive. Wow. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people do stuff like that in The Sims now. They just have these weird experiments, basically. Maybe it's because everyone's kind of done with just playing the normal game. But
Obviously, the jackpot games, but that's for everybody. I'm trying to think.
yeah, those are
here.
party games.
Minecraft, dude. How are you not choosing Minecraft? It's so intuitive.
Well,
it's so
because
easy.
his wife is probably not 10. Dude, he's not going to play
Bro,
Minecraft.
Dude.
when you're new to games,
I would say
come on.
50% of players of Minecraft are probably adults.
Yeah.
Probably very immature adults. They're 10 years
Whoa.
old on the inside.
Whoa.
Minecraft?
Wow.
Come
Whoa,
on.
Bobby.
Or they started
what?
playing
Way
Minecraft
off,
when they were
Bobby.
very young.
You can be a full engineer and like do a lot of engineering in there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, man. Maybe it's me. I don't get Minecraft. I jumped into it. Do not get it.
Let's do a
Yes.
little Google search. What demographic of Minecraft players estimated? I don't know. It's a private company, so I don't know if they put that out there.
I just set up a server for me and my family. Like all my cousins and my family played over the Christmas break, and my mom got into it, and she hasn't played a game since those old Pharaoh City Builder games, and she's loving it. You know, she put 6 walls up. She killed a sheep. Let's see here. Average Minecraft player is a 24-year-old male.
24 years old.
So basically 10. Yeah, maybe you're right, Bobby. You know, I don't know.
By today's standards. Dude, a 24-year-old by today's standards, yeah, that's like a 12-year-old.
Have you played Minecraft?
Yeah.
Really, I haven't. I've never.
I bought it. I bought it. I remember this specifically. I had a student who was really into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And I bought it. I don't think Microsoft even owned it yet. I think Mojang still haven't had it or whatever. And I bought it, and I remember playing it multiple times, and it just never caught. Like I couldn't get into it. And I know people make their custom servers and they do all these weird, crazy things, and it's like Legos but in a video game. But it's just like I've never been a fan. We were talking about Rust earlier. I've never been a fan of those aimless games where, hey, create your own story. It's open world, sandbox. You can do whatever you want. It's like, no, dude. To me, a game has set objectives that you're trying to accomplish.
But
That's
then once
Well,
they
now
put-
Minecraft does have a set objective now, though.
they have like quests or something, right?
Well, I mean,
Like a
no,
quest
you have to
line
kill
system?
the Nether Dragon, which is like the boss of the game,
oh, that's good.
which
Okay.
takes like if you don't know what you're doing, takes quite a while.
Yeah. It's still like an open world sandbox, but you have to like build yourself up to a point where you're strong enough to take that on.
Yeah. I mean, we should probably just invade Sniper's family's server and just start bullying his mom and stuff.
No,
Give me all
not
your
my
emeralds.
not my mother. Leave her alone.
Like, Lorraine, give me all your emeralds. Or we're gonna mug your son next.
Dude, that's that's an insult that you think my mom's name is Lorraine, by the way. That's a gross name.
We're just gonna
That's gross.
just alienated 0.1% of our listenership.
Yeah.
All the Lorraines just logged off, dude.
All the Lorraines.
But we're gonna get on every tree and just make them all dick shaped. It's gonna be ridiculous, dude.
Our
All
trees
the-
already are that shape. Like I don't know.
Yeah, so the answer is it's hard, man. Like, there's got to be like a really good RPG that's accessible. There's got to be, right?
Costume Quest.
Is Skyrim not accept? I feel like is Skyrim one of the ones you can just hop into and they kind of hold you throughout
you
the
don't-
whole.
If you don't have any gaming experience, I think Skyrim's pretty.
Skyrim's a little
Pretty
heavy.
big
That's
jump
Yeah.
heavy,
there.
dude. That's heavy. Oh, I will say this: both Nick's wife and my wife love Binding of Isaac. Love it.
Yeah, unless your wife's like super religious or not into
Oh,
like
yeah.
pee pee poo poo jokes.
it's very blasphemous and a lot of poop and pee and blood.
Unless, well, here's the thing: like, if you get the story explained to you, then it's not very blasphemous.
Dude, it's blasphemous.
But yeah,
regardless.
I don't know.
Even having some of
There's
those.
a lot of pee pee poo poo jokes.
The fishing in Treasures of Nadia is actually really good. I think.
Where's your full report, dude? What's going on?
Yeah, where's our porn game report?
Be
It's
honest.
okay, everyone, it's postponed. I really have to I haven't got the last fish yet, and there are some of the collectible rocks that I need to add.
I don't care about that. Have you beat off to it? And what was the TTC? Time to come.
I'm not treating this game like that. I'm treating this game like a game, dude. We're going for a full completionist.
Right.
It's not good, dude. That part of the game is like so embellished and over. I don't know. It's hard, no pun intended, to get into, you know? Like
All right. Okay. Next question from Warconius. You guys really need to play God of War. It's peak video gaming goodness and a roller coaster of emotion. Can you think of a game that you've played and you feel like anyone that's into video games needs to play this?
So first of
God of
all,
War?
I'll comment on God of War. I started on PS4, just never really got into it, but I mean, it's undeniable, right? It's one of the greatest games ever made. It's a 93 Metacritic on on PC.
But it's the first God of War game. So do you think people are going to, it's getting great reviews on Steam, but do you think some people are going to be like, this is kind of old news? You know, it's,
Like
when did the
people-
original God of War come out?
Are you talking about the first one for like?
Yeah, that's what
PlayStation 2?
that's what's on Steam right now, right?
No, this is the fourth one technically.
But it,
yeah, but this is the first. This
This
is
is the
a
first
reboot.
one of the
I'm
newest
confused.
generation.
okay.
Yeah,
So it's
God of War is old as fuck, dude.
okay. So this is a reboot of,
This is not a reboot. This is a continuation of the story where Homie has moved to the Norse god pantheon.
so this is basically God of War 5.
God of War, yeah, technically, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, what was I saying?
Okay. I thought this was the original God of War.
Oh no,
It's
no,
like
no,
remastered.
not even close. This is a very serious and differently toned game than the other three. The other three, you're like boning, like gods and stuff, and you're like slaying people by ripping their heads off and stuff. This is a very
Mhm.
different pace and more serious game.
It's always been known for its boss battles, though. Those have always been like,
Yes,
That's
yes.
the hallmark situation. You're fighting mega monsters. Fucking what are those things called in Rift, Pacific Rim? What are those things? called?
Kaijus.
Kaijus, yeah. You're fighting basically kaijus in this. But what was I saying? You fucking completely threw me off. God damn it, Bobby. This original part. What were we talking about?
God of War.
I know we were talking about God of War, but what the fuck was I saying? Somebody else say something.
No. Well, Warconius's question is, have you ever played a game that you feel like anybody who's a gamer needs to play this? Like, there's nobody who plays video games that would not like this game. I don't know. Is almost every game I play, I'm like, this is really good, but you could always see some people not liking it.
Yeah, for sure. I've probably never recommended a game as much as FTL. I mean, I was just like,
FTL's so good.
I was trying to pass it on to non-gamers. I was just like, please give this game a shot. Just please. I was so high on FTL for so long. Yeah, that's my answer. But yeah, totally. Like, I totally get that. Like, some people would be like, I need something way more actiony than this. This is like, you can stop time and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. The only game that I could think of that comes close to that would be Call of Juarez Gunslinger. I remember playing that game and thinking, wow, this is just a really good all-around game. Now, it is a first-person shooter, and it is like the old-school first-person shooters where it's just a campaign, and they actually had a pretty good arcade mode, too, which I enjoyed. But it could seem a little dated for some people, but it's a Western game as well, and if you like shooters, like, I don't think you can go wrong with that game. Game of the week, maybe. We'll see.
I think you made me play it last time.
No. Well, we had it was
I
a
didn't
whole
play the
thing.
wrong one. I played
No,
the right
when we were
one.
doing the homework section, and when we did the homework section, we give it to one person. It wasn't like everyone had to play it. So for Ray, I said Call of Juarez Gunslinger, and he ended up playing the wrong one. But it's okay.
And then
because
there
we
was
had
that funny clip where he
hilarious
gets hit by
cart
like a
moment.
boulder like 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Gunslinger was just like, I don't know, something about that game where I was just like, it was like a good action movie, you know? It was like, man, this just hits all the buttons for me. But at the end of the day, it's still an action movie. And if you're not in the mood for an action movie or you don't like action movies, yeah, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is mine, I guess.
Without playing Mass Effect 1?
You don't have to play Mass Effect 1. There's
That is-
literally like
Mass
a
Effect
10-minute
2,
comic
brilliant.
that tells you what happens in Mass Effect 1.
It's a lot of game. It's a lot of game for... Well, it says for a gamer. So, yeah. The Mass Effect series is totally... Is anybody going to play the Legendary Edition? What are you guys thinking?
I'm
No.
not.
No.
Yeah, because
Really?
I haven't played it before. Gotta check it out.
Fantastic, dude. And what about FTL? Christian?
Oh yeah, I love FTL. I set up my brother's Steam account when we built his computer, and I was like, okay, I'll buy you one game, and it's gonna be FTL because it's so good.
Yeah. Did he like it?
And you're like, it's also cheap. Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, he did like it. He's more into shooters and stuff, so I was taking a risk, but he liked it. And his first roguelike too. That's always cool to introduce people into like a new genre that they didn't know existed, right?
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Binding of Isaac would be up there too, just because of that. It's like the quintessential roguelike. And people don't understand that dying is part of a game. Roguelikes have only almost turned dying into a perk or some it's a mechanic. Dying is a mechanic. It's something that you always do in games, but it doesn't have anything to do with the game. Now it does. So, yeah. A realistic look at death. Roguelike.
All right. Next question from Zap. What do you think is the worst game launcher? God.
All of them but Steam.
No,
Origin?
It's obviously the Xbox Game Pass, man.
Yeah, I say it's Game Pass as well, because it's being used so much, and it's generating so much money, and it still is complete garbage.
I mean, they ignore simple things like just give me a list of the games that are in the Game Pass. I don't know. I think it's better now. It used to be really bad, but I think it's better now where I think you can actually get some sort of a list, or I don't know if it's just all thumbnails or something, but it's not like, yeah, there it is, the A to Z list. So if you click on that, does it just list the games, like the titles? No, you got a filter on there. So
No, these are all the games I own on Game Pass, but they have a library option. I don't know. I think the worst thing about Xbox Game Pass isn't this. It's got to be like the friend
yeah, there's
system.
worse things about it. But
Yeah,
this is like one thing where it's just like literally every other launcher is just like, hey, here's a list of all the games you have. Like it's
here.
It's like step one, and they didn't even get that right.
You want like a text list with no thumbnails.
Do you have Game Pass?
Yeah, I have Game Pass, but these are the only ones I've downloaded.
Okay, but how do you see the Game Pass? I want to see a list of all the games I can play. That's all I want. I want to
Then
see.
click on Game Pass, and that has all the.
Okay, I don't want the thumbnails. I don't want them sorted by picks for me. I don't want recently added. I want to see an alphabetical list of games with a search bar.
So
He
particular.
wants a USB that he can put in his asshole and just download everything. Oh, by the way, Pedestrian is on here. Did you notice that, Bobby?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I downloaded it a couple of weeks ago.
Instant mood changer. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Oh, Tainted Grail, dude. So good. Download that right now. You. Sniper.
You. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Download it, dude. Download it. It's so
But
good.
yeah, the whole friend system doesn't
Executive
really make any
producer
sense. That's
downloaded.
really difficult. And then if you've ever tried to like join someone else's game through
Oh,
Game
God.
Pass, that's a nightmare. Do you do it in the game? Do you do it in Xbox Game Pass app? Do you do it in the Xbox Game Bar? Like
Dude,
it's always
so
different.
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's a game within itself.
And they just-
Why is?
they just renamed it to it went from the Xbox Game Pass for PC to now the Game Pass for PC. And then the CEO was like, yeah, admittedly, it was pretty confusing that it was the Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Yeah, now they're just calling it like what, PC Game Pass or something.
Yeah, Game Pass for PC.
Yeah, they had that commercial on the Game
Nick.
Awards for that.
Right now, Tainted Grail.
Right now, what?
Tainted Grail. Go get it.
Tainted Grail. What is Tainted? Okay.
Doesn't matter. Just go grab it. You too, Sniper. I want. There's no excuses. And get Forza too while you're out there. But mostly Tainted
I will
Grail.
not play Forza.
Okay. Do you have Sniper? We're looking at your Game Pass right now. Do you have the Elite one or the Special one where you have the cloud gaming as well?
I do not. I just have whatever
okay.
the basic. I'm
So I
actually
saw a
on like a
button for that.
free 3-month code now, so whatever
Mhm.
that is.
Okay. By the way, you cannot use 2 3-month codes. Apparently, figured that out. Although I have the option to renew at the entry level price for $1, so I can get another month for $1. But then after that, it looks like I'm gonna have to pay the fee.
I thought
Nice.
Somebody bought you the extreme.
It didn't work. Yeah,
Oh,
it didn't work. Unfortunately.
all right.
I saw a button if you go back for all PC games. I don't know if that will show me what I'm desperately looking for. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is what I've seen before. So they still have thumbnails and they've got a few filters on the side, but you still can't like.
So it's pictures that it was bothering you.
Well, the thumbnail
know what
layout
pictures-
shows way too many things. Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird, dude. Actually, the next step in the Xbox Game Pass UI is you have to physically walk around to these different booths
Mhm.
and to
You have
pick
to have a
the
VR
game you want to do.
headset. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
into VR and you have to
Yeah.
walk through a hallway and
Yeah.
there's just doorways that lead to each game and you have to actually open the door and
Yeah.
walk into it to download the
Jesus
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
agree with
It's
this
the
features or
future. It's the future of gaming.
not. Well,
Phil
that's what,
Spencer listens to this podcast.
That's what
He's
the-
gonna do it.
that's what the metaverse is, right? A lot of it is things that you can click on are now things that you can walk into. That takes way more energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. They're all terrible, but that one, not because it's the worst one, dude. It's because it's so popular and making so much money, and it's still bad. That's why it's
Mhm.
violently.
I mean,
just
Steam
wonder
is
how it's
obviously the best
possible.
one. Epic is just missing a lot of features, but Epic is perfectly functional. The GOG launcher, that one's fine too.
at least the Epic one is clean.
Mhm.
At the very minimum,
Yeah.
it's clean, not cluttered.
Yeah, it just doesn't have as many features as Steam, but yeah, it's got a simple
Now-
layout.
Let's go. Let's take one step into the whole meta of here. Are we being more critical because it is not an exact clone of Steam? Like, has Steam conditioned us to the point where like, oh, this is what it should be, and if you're not that, then you're fucked?
Well, Steam did this before anybody, and they've had a lot
Right.
more years to perfect it.
No, totally agree.
So I don't know why they'd try to be reinventing the wheel or reinventing the game launcher at this point.
Lawsuits.
I don't know if that's really copyrighted, but I mean, maybe some of the features. But I don't know. I feel like why break from what really works? But I think what a lot of these launchers do is they try to push their product. So the UX is designed in a way where it puts things front and center that will make them money. Like, hey, these are the new
Yeah, right.
new releases, or these are our
Yep.
games, or something like that. So, they got an angle.
Uh,
I think you're very right.
another one. I mean, the EA one is pretty fucking rough. I
Yeah.
don't like it because it makes you sign into it even though you're using another launcher. That is
Yeah, it's
It is
annoying.
so fucking
so fucking annoying. I hate
Yeah.
it.
Well, Ubisoft does the same thing.
They do, but I don't play Ubisoft games for the most part. So the EA
Really,
one
all the
pops
Far
up
Cry
often.
games?
I don't play them. Oh
You played every Far Cry game except the second one and the first one.
yeah, I'm agreeing, but I also feel like the Far Cry games don't do it for some reason. I don't know.
I don't think it's as intrusive as the EA one. And
Yeah.
the EA one, I think, is better now since they went to the EA whatever and
The
got rid of
fuck off.
Origin.
EA fuck off. That's what it's called. Because that's all I care about it.
All
Move on. You got me upset. I'm on tilt, Zap. Thank you.
All right. Warconius asks, so why have the Germans taken over your Steam group? Didn't think Americans would surrender so easily.
Can we go there? Dude, can we go there and then put it into fucking can you just fucking do the thing? Translate it? Google Translate. Yeah. And
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
the
We'll see what's going on. We'll
Yeah, we'll
mount
see
some
what's going on.
investigation.
All right, cool. Let's move to the next one.
Okay. Well, I feel like I should explain this because this question comes up quite a
Oh.
bit. So there's a guy on Steam from Germany who I've talked to from time to time before. He runs a website, I think it's grabfreegames.net, where it notifies you like, hey, these games are free at this site or that site. And he gets quite a bit of traffic to it. So at one point he asked me, hey, do you mind if I post like giveaways and stuff in the Steam group? And I thought, hey, we're not doing anything with the Steam group anyway. Like nobody really uses it. So sure, knock yourself out. So if you do see that, like those German posts there, it's just, my German buddy over there giving away free games.
Does he give you any kickbacks for the like? What's in it? Like, surely he's giving you something right under the table.
No. Although he did ask about sponsorship one time, but that didn't really go anywhere. But yeah, so I it does look kind of weird, but come on, it's a Steam group. Who uses those?
Yep.
He also posts those in the Game Gear deals or whatever that channel is on Discord.
Steam's the best thing ever made. Who uses Steam?
Okay, click here for the competition, the big Amiga Portal competition 2022. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry I asked for this.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on.
That's a terrible bit here. Just translate
do?
an ad. Okay, next question. Oh, this is not a question. We got DLG picks for gamers. What would be the top movies for 2021? Oh, is this another Warconius question? Okay.
Yeah, can I get a list of like big movies in 2021? I don't even.
Oh, okay. So he's saying
I have the memory of
we
Free
talked about
Fall.
our game of the year. What's our movies of the year?
Yeah, is basically what he's asking.
Are any of your movies from the year from the hit podcast Movies on the DL?
I do not believe so. Yeah. I gotta look
Bobby,
at my
I was
letterbox.
going to ask you, now that you have this new job,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about bringing back the pop?
Dude.
First of all, don't ask me on there.
No, like it's funny because I think back to when we were doing the Movies on the DL podcast, and it blows my mind that I was ever able to do that. Like,
Oh, you
I
have
don't.
less time now.
Yeah, less time
Really?
now, or maybe I just never had enough time and I just squeezed my schedule
Sacrifice your
like I
sanity.
often do.
Ah,
But yeah,
I feel like you're playing way more games now, dude. Which is I'd rather you be playing
It sounds
games
like you're
as
playing more
us
games.
doing movies on the DL.
I'm honestly watching less movies, and I think that's why I'm playing more games.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good. That's
I'm just-
exactly where I want you.
I'm starting to watch more movies now.
No, that's not where I want you.
But I mean, I was knocking out at least a movie a day.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
Whoa.
a lot.
Yeah.
Not
That is
really
a
doing.
lot.
What came out this year, dude?
Okay, so we had Matrix Resurrections. We talked about that. Well, he's talking about last year.
Oh, Dune, for sure, is mine.
Okay, Dune. What
Yeah.
about Mitchell's versus the Machines? You really liked that
I
one.
did really like that.
Yeah, I think you said that was your favorite movie of the year at some point.
Yeah, but it's later in the year, and I haven't
Okay,
seen Dune
so now
yet.
you're switching to Dune.
Because when I saw Dune, I was like, "Is this a new Star Wars?" That's how much I like that.
Yeah.
That was huge. And then more recent, I haven't seen it yet, but knowing myself, I'm gonna fucking love Spider-Man. Like everybody's saying it's the best Spider-Man ever. The critics are saying it's the best Spider-Man ever, and I just haven't seen it. And I just watched the first two again. I'm ready. I'm all ready to watch it again.
Okay. Ghostbusters Afterlife isn't even coming close then?
You know, it's in the top 5.
Okay.
But I don't even know if I see. If I watch 7 movies a year, that is a lot. I feel like.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. No, you watch more than that. 7
don't.
movies a year?
I don't.
7?
New ones?
Why aren't you
new
on
ones.
Letterboxd, dude? Is there a
What?
reason why?
Oh, you're talking about new movies like that came out.
No, movies I have not seen before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe 7 a year.
I think 007 has to be one of the better ones this year too. It was such a good fucking movie, dude.
I heard that was really good.
What's it called?
No Time to Die.
It's the last one for what's his name? Daniel Craig.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at if you're on Letterboxd, you can sort by the year there. So I don't know if you can sort by my highest rated. It's probably going to be that Bo Burnham comedy special. That one was really good. Oh man, there were a lot. I'm looking at the movies released. Nobody was up there. Really liked that one.
Nobody was really good.
Yeah, Nobody was up there.
You-
I actually
You rated The Green Knight 5 out of 5 fucking stars, dude, didn't you?
4 stars.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I like the Green Knight.
Ew.
I'll tell you what surprised me though. I really like that new Suicide Squad movie. You know, I don't really go in for those movies, but
I liked it too.
yeah, you know, I'm a big fan of James Gunn. I like his style, his punk rock trauma style.
Are you gonna watch? What's the guy John Cena plays?
I can't remember the
he-
character, but didn't he die in that movie?
James Gunn is on the show. I mean, works on the show.
What?
Yeah, isn't James Gunn working on that show? John Cena,
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard about that.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, written by James Gunn.
What was yours,
it's
Bobby?
a sequel and a prequel, and it's got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Favorite
and it's on
movie of the
HBO
year?
Max.
Well, according to my letterbox, which I don't always agree with. Sometimes I go back
What?
and look at my
I don't
reviews.
agree with yourself. What are you saying?
Oh yeah, because you have perspective after a certain amount of time. You look at a review.
Yes, dude.
You've never done that before. You've never been like walked out of a theater and been like best movie ever, and then
Well,
5 months later you're
every
like,
time.
yeah. My highest rated for this year was Bo Burnham Inside, the comedy
Okay.
special, and Nobody. Actually,
Mm.
it's really weird for me on Letterboxd. If you look at my Letterboxd, like 3.5 stars is like a cap for me. It's really hard for a movie to make that jump to 4 stars.
And The Green Knight did it.
And The Green Knight did it,
Somehow.
man. But I knew what I was walking into with The Green
I
Knight.
fucking I sat here and listened to you talk about the Green Knight. It sounded like you hated it.
Really?
Yeah, well, not hated it, but I couldn't tell that you liked it.
Oh.
It's so hard to tell when you like something. I'm
Yeah.
so tired of it. I'm exhausted, Bobby. I can't do this
I
anymore.
don't know what anything means
I just
anymore.
can't do
Did,
this
did
anymore.
anyone else here watch The Green Knight? I just really need to clear the air, just really
I
quick.
watched it.
And you liked it too, because you knew
I
kind of
did
what you.
not like it.
Oh, you didn't like it. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All the story is him doing all the things a knight is not supposed to do.
There you
The
go,
end.
Bobby.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Someone's never
What-
came in a belt before.
Oh, my watch list. Yeah. Trying to chip away at that. All right. I believe.
I would say, yeah, tie between Dune and Mitchell vs. Machines. I love both of those very much.
Okay. 2 very different movies.
Yeah.
All right. Nick, did you say what yours were?
No Time to Die, Spider-Man. I mean, that's going to be really it for me.
Okay.
Can we?
Dune? Yeah, definitely Dune.
But if we're gonna do a DLG consensus, like all come together, we could agree. It's probably Dune, right?
Yeah, I could go with Dune. Yeah,
Dune.
totally. God, No Time to Die. I really wanted to see. So what I was doing when that movie was supposed to come out April 2020, and it got postponed over a year, like a lot of other movies, because of COVID. But I was in the process of watching every single James Bond movie. Now, I've only seen like GoldenEye, and that might have been it. Like, I've just never watched James Bond movies. So I was doing this thing about 2 years ago where I was going through every single James Bond movie, and then right around like 83, that year where they released 2 in the same year, and the original James Bond, Sean Connery came back to do one. Like, I just kind of hit a wall and I just couldn't do it anymore, man. Like, those movies are pretty goofy. People love them, but if you watch them back to back to back, it's pretty brutal because it's very repetitive and they're pretty silly. And they really start to, during the Roger Moore years in the 70s, they really just start to chase trends. And the 80s is notoriously a bad spot for Bond movies too. I think those were the Richard Dalton years, and then
bad spot for just about everything.
No, there's a lot of great movies in the 80s, man. You got to say the 80s was like a bad time for movies?
There's a lot of cocaine, dude. Fucking
Oh my
everything
God. Wow, dude. Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop, Mad Max. I mean, we could literally go for 80s movies. We could literally go on for like hours.
It's not good.
But yeah, man. So and I've been meaning to pick up from there too and like continue to watch the James Bond movies, but I just haven't been able to.
It's torturous, dude. And it's self-inflicted torture. You might as well just be whipping you.
Well, I feel like I should watch them so I can at least have an opinion on them. I mean, I sit through a lot of crap. Why not more James Bond movies? And when
do a lot of crap like this,
it's just kind of tough because I know I got a really rough patch to go through before I get to GoldenEye, and then there's a real rough patch after that until we get to Daniel Craig.
What was after Golden? I don't even remember.
World is not enough.
More Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, more. All the other Pierce Brosnan ones were not good. GoldenEye was like one of the best Bond movies ever, and then it's just a bunch of crap after that. And then we get to Daniel Craig and kind of reinvents it, and those ones are good again.
You heard that? You heard who's the new James Bond, right?
No, did not know who.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
No way.
He's too young, dude. I feel like you're playing a joke here. How old is Tom Holland?
Look it up, sniper. Give me that sniper look up.
Wow, this is outrageous.
New James. This is outrageous. This is unfair. Idris Elba, Henry Cavill. I don't know.
I want it to be Idris Elba.
Yeah, I could see that because James Bond has to be of a certain age. He's got to be like late 30s minimum. Roger Moore played James Bond till he was almost 60, I think.
I think Henry Cavill's a little bit too beefy to play James Bond.
Well, he's not British either.
Well,
Hey,
he could put on the accent.
Henry
Cavill's not
Cavill's
Yeah.
British?
Yeah, super British.
Yeah.
He's British as British can be, bruh.
Wow, did not know that.
Yeah.
He plays Warhammer,
I did well.
drinks tea.
So, Nick, you did just make this up, didn't
Yeah,
you?
dude.
Leslie tells me it all the time. She's like, Tom Holland's gonna be 007.
Is that your source of news?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just cut out the bullshit and have her on the podcast because apparently you get all your news from her.
Throwing Leslie under the bus. Throwing Leslie's crush under the... Wow, dude. Rough.
The cat whispers shit to me at night.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Tom Holland, yeah, he's playing Nathan Drake in that Uncharted movie.
Yeah.
And I saw the trailer for that, and I didn't even realize until like it was almost over that it was Uncharted. And it didn't look that bad.
No, it doesn't.
Dude, fuck. Oh, God. Mark Wahlberg as what's his name? Sonny. Jesus Christ.
I don't know who
Yeah,
Sonny is. Never played
yeah.
Uncharted
He's
games.
supposed to be like a 60-year-old man with like gray hair and smoke cigars and be fat. And then it's Mark
There's plenty of
Wahlberg.
those guys in Hollywood. Surprised that they went with the younger guy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, real quick before the end of this episode, I feel it coming on. I feel Emilio's left foot twitching. I know it's coming. Bobby, you got your Letterboxd year-end review, which summarizes like your most watched director and minutes watched and a lot of cool things. How did you get that?
They emailed it to me.
Oh, they emailed it to you.
Yeah,
cool.
let me jump in real quick. Reddit did the same thing, and I found it really interesting, all the stuff that was on there.
Yeah,
My
those
year-end
end-of-year review things are awesome.
Yeah. Apparently, I scrolled through like 7.4 miles of.
Oh, Jesus.
Whoa.
I'm making up a number. I have no idea what it was. It was a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
of r/pole vaulters.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, his guilty pleasure.
All right, what's everybody playing next week? God of War?
You watched Theodore Rex this year?
Yeah, I watched it like 2 days ago.
Why?
Had to see it, dude. It's Whoopi Goldberg and a dinosaur in a buddy cop movie. It's fucking horrible, dude. It's so bad.
Oh, you can't give
what
less
did you
than 1 star?
expect?
No, you can give a half star.
Okay.
The dinosaurs look great. They look like the dinosaurs from the TV show Dinosaurs,
that's
which
what I
I
was gonna
love.
say.
It was the same guy, Jim,
Are they the same?
not Jim Henson, but the same guy did that. And the dinosaurs looked awesome. And that's where the
Yeah, he looks
half
exactly
star
like
comes
the
in.
dad.
Yeah, but the movie itself is absolute garbage. It starts with a text crawl at the beginning that summarizes the entire movie, even the twist at the end, revealing who the bad guy is. And it's just like, dude, you just told me the entire movie, and now I've got to sit through this garbage. It was horrible. It was horrible. And
Right.
I read somewhere it's like the only movie Whoopi Goldberg regrets.
Sniper, were you going anywhere? With
Yeah, this is a call to action, but not for us, for letterbox.com. I feel like everyone should be on it. I love the idea of no algorithm social media. I just go on and I see what my friends are watching, and I see what they've rated stuff, and it gives me a good idea of like maybe what I would like. So if you're out there, make a letterbox and throw it in our Discord.
Yeah.
Yep, get on it if you watch movies. Or if you want to see what movies everyone else is watching. We got a lot of people on there, but I feel like the people who only still use it, at least on my friends list, is Christian.
Yeah.
I don't think we had Warconius and
that,
Tagloro and a lot of the other listeners on there, Lotion, but I don't know if they update it too often. I see.
Yeah,
Warconius
new
from
year,
time to
new
time.
you guys. Come on
Yeah.
down. Update your letterbox.
Let's do it.
The reason I watch so little movies is I almost always enjoy video games more. Almost always. Kind of that whole thing that you were saying about, like, you'll complain about a 6-hour game, but then you'll play fucking DRG for 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's like, I don't want to do this for 2 hours when I could go do that for 4 even.
Well, yeah, in a movie, I mean, you got to sit through the whole thing. You can't really just watch like half a movie.
Not if it's Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog.
Walk right out of that shit, dude.
What's Ghost Dog?
We talked about this before. It's fucking Whitaker, something Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker being a modern day samurai assassin. Apparently, it's pretty good. Like people like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 3.4,
3.8. That's really high for
that's really high.
Letterboxd.
And I was just like, what is this?
Okay. I thought it was going to be a ghost dog.
It's the only time I've ever walked out of a movie.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I've never walked out of a movie. I've fallen asleep in a couple movies, but I've never like walked out in protest.
Do you want to know what I fall asleep on?
What's that?
Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Really?
But only because I went to a special screening that started at 6 a.m. We had worked all night. I got there.
Okay.
And then they
All right. So there were extenuating circumstances.
and they showed all the other 6 movies first.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. You're going to fall asleep
Yeah,
in
dude.
that case. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've fallen asleep in Apollo 13. Oh God.
Maybe we just put movies back into DLG. Because this
Nah, I don't know.
Nah,
Everybody's
you're
already
talking crazy.
tuned out at this point. So, and I don't blame them. That's okay. They were here for the video games and they left for the movies. But yeah, man, playing next week, kind of interested in God of War, but I just don't know if I want to pay, what is it, 50 or 60 bucks on
it's
Steam?
60, I think. Right?
$49.99.
Oh, 50? Bobby,
Yeah.
it's time you buy it and I can play you off your account. Literally, it's so Mila's like, you have like 10,000 games. I was like, it's all garbage.
It's all my garbage
It's
games.
all garbage.
Yeah. But
It's
here's
actually more of a problem than it is a boon because you have to sort through that shit to get to the
Yeah.
good stuff.
yeah, it's not great.
And you stopped buying games 2 years ago. So it's like,
Yeah, it's
you know
very
what?
rare that I'm getting
just
it.
take me off.
But here's the thing with
Unsubscribe.
Here's the thing with God of War, though. I got a feeling, I am 99% sure that I'm going to play 2 hours of that game and then never touch it again for the rest of my life.
All right, man. I guess I'm going to buy it.
All right, and then I'll download it off your
Yeah,
account.
I know.
Play
I
two
know.
hours of it, and then never play it again for the
You're
rest of my
going
life.
in with such an enthusiastic attitude. You know, I have
No,
to wonder.
I don't play campaign games really, especially not long ones. Like
Yeah.
Call of War as
Don't give me
Gunslinger, 6 hour game, 5 hour game.
Don't give me an open world with no direction. But if you do give me a direction and it's a linear
Keep
story,
it short.
Keep it
it
short.
short. and
Mhm.
nice.
so
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's like TV versus movies. Like people will watch 8 hours of, they'll binge watch TV,
Yeah.
but they won't watch movies.
right.
And I think there's something about like that incrementalness of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because you
That's
could bail out at any time, and
Mhm.
like you said in a movie. you
yeah.
can't.
So with video games, like I'll play like 3 hours of Deep Rock, but I can't. It's so much harder to do that in a campaign game for some reason for me.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
You like what you like, dude.
Wasn't always like that.
All right. Speaking for Bobby, Nick, and the guy that's on the top screen, Christian, and myself, mahalo. Titties.
Don't forget to do the thing.
Okay. Garden of the Sea, Demeo, Dying Light, Crystal Clash, Chicory, Serious Sam, Siberian Mayhem, Ark, Raiders, Jedi Fallen Order, Vampire Survivors, For the King, Steam Concurrent Players, Bannerlord 2.